everyone, I am really excited to be starting a new mini-series from Johanna Basford's Small Victories, and we're going to be doing the space page. Now this is a page I've really felt I wanted to do as soon as I got the book. I've had the book for 3 days and I'm going to get on with it. Now I've got an idea for how to do the page. We are going to start in an unusual way for me by doing the background. I'm going to do a background on the whole of the page first, then we're going to deal with each individual circle in a series of videos. It won't all be done today. So I am starting with my soft pastels. These are my Mungyo Pastels, just normal chalk pastels, and we are going to do a mixed coloured sort of background. Now it's going to be tricky to get around the stars. We're going to go over those stars, we're going to colour those over later with something else, so we don't need to worry about those. The circles, yes, I do want those clear of pastel, but what I'm going to do is just do it, and then I can erase the pastel a little bit if I need to. I will try and be careful, but if I'm not, it's not going to matter too much. Now I want a series of darkish colours, but not really dark. So I'm going to start here. This is the dark purple. There's only 2 sort of purpley colours in this set. So I'm going to grab some purple. I'm going to keep my fingers on the bits I'm not applying pastel to. And I'm just going to start putting down some areas of colour. And whoops, how thickly I decide to do it and how many colours, I haven't decided yet. You see here I'm going quite near the edge of the circle. I do want it to go right to the edge if I can. If it goes over the edge, I will. Pressing on this side of the book isn't working. That's better. It's going to be hard for you to see what I'm doing, but I think it's going to work a little bit better. Actually, let's just zoom out a bit. You don't really need to see it closely, I don't think. Now I've managed to flatten this page out. Now I know some people are a little bit worried about the book not folding down flat. I've managed to do that because it's sewn. You can push down quite near the spine. Now getting this pastel right into the centre is going to be tricky, but I'm just going to try it a bit, and we'll get a lot of dust in that crease, and there'll be some pastel on this page which I can erase afterwards, so that's fine. One more little bit I think over here, like that. Then we'll go to another colour. I want a pink. I can turn this round, it might be better. The pinks are at the bottom here. Fairly dark, but not too. This is quite a nice pink, I think. Oh, that's quite bright. Let's use that one. Why not? Now, it's interesting. I don't know if you watched Susan Wimperney Berry's interview with Johanna Basford, or Colour Along, or whatever. I don't really know what to call it. Anyway, I was watching that yesterday. I didn't catch it live. And they were chatting about the fact that Johanna had said this was an experimental page, that Johanna thought that it might be all black and she didn't like that idea, so she just popped it in to see what we did with it. So Suzanne said, oh, it's like a challenge to us to do it really bright, and then you might do more space images for us. So I am embracing that challenge, and there might be a little bit of black, but not very much, so it's rather fun, I think. I was never intending to do it black. I mean, I think if you did this background bit black, these would really jump out if these didn't have a black background. I think it would be good. I like a black background, but you know, that's fine. So blues, we've got blue. Oops, I am moving all over the place. I'm sorry. Right, blues. I don't want these really pale blues. Let's go for something a little bit darker. That's this one maybe. Let's have a look. That's quite dark. I think that might work. Let's pop that in this gap here. Now the joy with pastels is that they just blend together like a dream. Which one did I use? That one. Rather than pencils, which take a little bit more work, although pencils do blend. The pastels are just so much easier. Now, what I have found in the past, if you're talking, a lot of people want to know about fixatives and things. Now, a really good tip is if you use a blending solution like a Zest-It, I think it was the Gamasol is the US one that you get. Zest It I buy from Jackson's Art, by the way. If you use something like that, not only does it blend the pastel together, which is perfect. I mean, they do quite well on their own, to be honest. But it also sort of seals it, so it doesn't then come off. So I'm thinking I might do that on this page so it doesn't come off on the next page, and means that I can then colour the spheres without getting it all over me. So that's sort of my plan. Now I'm looking a bit too blue over here. I'm going to put a bit of pink in there, just on that edge there, I'm thinking. Right, I'm going to leave that there. It's a bit messy. It's fine. Get my brush, if I can find it. Oh, there we go. And just brush this off. You see it's right in the spine there. Let's get it out. Brush it all off. And I'm going to go and get my Zest It and show you. Right, I am back and I have fetched this. This is a laminate, and I'm going to put it under here. I'm putting it under the piece of paper so it doesn't reflect the light too much and be annoying. I'll come in a little bit closer. There we go. But it's in case my wet medium goes through the page, it won't go down onto the page underneath. This is Zest It. It is a pencil blending liquid used with coloured pencils, oil pastels and graphite. It doesn't say with these pencils, but oops, that's what I'm going to do. I've got the tiniest paintbrush because that's the only one I could find. And basically what I normally do is decant a bit into a pot. This paintbrush is hard as anything. There we go. Let's actually get some Zest It on here. I can smell it, it's definitely there. Now I'm making this quite wet. I'm probably making it too wet. It isn't really doing what I'd hoped, to be honest. I've done this before and it worked, but maybe my Zest It's a bit old, I don't know. That's better. I think that's working. Anyway, I'm going to put it all over it anyway, because I'm pretty sure that it seals it, which is useful because obviously means I won't get it all over my hands when I'm colouring in the circles. But I think I'm just going to stop the video and do it off camera, because it's a bit boring and I'm a bit scared that I'm going to spill it everywhere if I try and do it quick, so hold on. Right, I actually decided that using a blending pencil is a much better way of getting it looking good, because I can move it to the edge of the circles and into the margin here and make it look neat. So that's what I would recommend. Don't use Zest It or a blending solution like I was going to use. Just use a blending pencil. I've tried the blending solution at the top. I don't like it. I'm not convinced it's going to actually that it really did anything for my picture. But here you can see I am just spreading the colours and mixing them together to make a galaxy background, nice and bright, colourful, etc. So I'm keeping my hands away from the pastel. I'm hoping that this blending might help to push it down into the paper a little bit and make it less dusty and less likely to go all over the place. It's quite interesting how even though I've put down the Zest It on this top bit, I can still move it around. Obviously didn't work at all. I think I'm going to cut that bit of the video out, so where I said I'm going to use some Zest It, I might just cut it out because it was rubbish. But I don't know, we'll see. So there we go. You can see here the page has gone a bit transparent where I've used the blending solution. It does dry out and it doesn't leave a greasy mess, so you don't have to worry about that. It will vanish. I'm just gonna finish blending this. And we need to do the stars after. Actually, we need to erase. Now, let's just move a few things away. What I'm going to do is find my little eraser. There we go. And I'm going to erase the bits inside the circles where it's slightly overlapped. So. Now, I was going to colour these in Ergosofts, because someone did say to me, you know, can you colour some of this book in Ergosofts? Yeah. But someone else suggested that I do this specific page in metallic pencils. And I have to say I thought that was an excellent idea. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do Ergosofts on a different design. So I'm just tidying this all up and then we'll get going. Now I have two sets of metallic pencils. I have the Brutfuners, which I got from AliExpress, and I have the Castle Arts, which I got from Castle Arts. Now they have a slightly different range of colours, and I've actually done a little colour comparison chart which is available in my Ko-fi shop for a free download, so that you can have a look and compare them if you're trying to decide which one to buy, or if you've got one and I'm using a different one, you can sort of find the nearest equivalent pencil. I'm actually going to use both today, which is a bit indulgent of me, and I hope not too confusing for everybody, but the plan is to try and use the best possible colours, and so I've got more of a choice with the two sets. Right, I'm happy with that, so I'm going to rub that off. Now the stars, all the stars, I'm going to just remove all this and put a clean piece of paper behind. There we go. Right, the stars I'm going to do in a pen, which I have, I think, here. Nope. I thought I got it out. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Oh, there's so much rubbish on my desk, you wouldn't believe the mess. I'm going to use, yes, here it is, metallic. These are my Gellyroll silver. So you don't have to use a Gellyroll. Any metallic silver pen I think would work quite nicely. Even a white I think would work quite well. Let's just erased it very well. There we go. So I think, yeah, even a white I think would work quite well. Now my also plan, that makes sense. My plan is also to use these. These are the Stardust Gellyroll Stardust glitter pens, and one of these, there's two blues, a purple, two pinks and a silver, are going to be the background for each of these. So they're going to be done in bright glitter, and so the stars in the metal, the backgrounds in the glitter, and then the actual objects coloured in metallic pencil. So should we get on and do the first one? I need to lean on something so that I don't get sort of pastel and everything all over me. But let's go in and have a look at this one. So our background is going to be, as I say, glitter pen. So moon, so that's partly why it doesn't matter that I've gone over the edges a bit in the pastel, because when I go over with a glitter pen it'll disappear. So let's have a look at our metallic pencils and think about where to start. Well, our space rocket, I'm going to go straight in there with a nice bright blue. This is from the Brutfuners, and it's called River Blue, and I'm going to do the main body of our space rocket with this. Now with metallics you can build up colour and fade towards the centre in the way that you would with a normal pencil. So that's what I'm going to do. I want it to be a bit darker on these edges, just to give our space rocket a bit of shape. Oh, I can smell the blending solution on this page. So I want enough colour down so you can see it, because sometimes the metallics are a little bit pale, but a little bit extra on those edges. And the same, I'm going to use the same colour here, there and there. Now I'm going to have to be a bit careful as I go through these pictures. I'm going to use a darker one for the edges. I'm trying to find one. I think this is a dark blue. Oops. This is called the bijou blue. I need to sharpen it with my sharpener. Yeah, so the bijou blue is just a darker one. So if you're using conventional pencils, just use a mid blue and a lighter blue. There we go. It's quite crumbly, this one, because I've just sharpened it, but it's staying in the lines nicely, which is good. And I'm just going to brush that off so you can see that I didn't go massively out the lines. Yeah, I hope I don't confuse you by, perhaps if I use all Brutfuner for this picture and then all Castle for another one, that might be slightly less confusing. Now around the windows and these sort of horizontal lines and things, I want a red. Now reds are quite a spark. There aren't really metallic reds, don't really exist, but there is in the Brutfuners you get a rose brown, which I think will do, because some of them are a bit too pink. Let's try this rose brown. Now again, I want it a bit darker on that edge, a bit less in the middle. I'm loving this rocket, by the way. It's just drawn in the cutest way. So I'm going to block in that end part. I can't really do much with that. And around the windows as well. It's going to make them really dark. Ooh. So these are, I'm sharpening them quite sharp, and the tips snapping a tiny bit, but I think it's fine. There we go. Let me just brush that debris away for you. There you go. Yeah, I have gone out of the line a little bit. Now there's sort of thin bits. What should we do? Let's introduce another colour. I'm thinking a mid-green. I haven't got a swatch chart of these with me, which is probably a bad idea. So I'm just guessing from looking at the pencil what colour it is. It's not always the best thing to do. So I have got here a juniper, which I think will work for these. I think the idea, make it nice and bright. So I've tried to make it a bit darker near the ship and a bit less as we come out there. There we go. Now we have some sort of smoke, so we can use a nice dark grey. We've got a colour called Mourning Dove. And we'll use that for the smoke. Now we have got 3 bits, but I'm just going to do them all the same colour, just a bit darker here and lighter towards the cloud, I think. Now I don't know if this cloud is supposed to be part of the smoke. I think it probably is, but I'm going to do it a little bit lighter. So I'm going to use the Belgian block. It's hard to see, isn't it? Which is very much a light silver or light grey. And use that on all of the cloud. I'm going to try and make it darker on the edges, like where it's on the edge of the circle and where the 2 clouds meet, and a little bit lighter towards the edge. You can leave these white if you'd rather, but I think it's just nice to add a bit of colour to everything. And just fade that out towards the edge. Ooh, I feel like I'm getting high from the smell of the zester. I think this book is going to smell of it now forever. It's a nice smell, citrusy, but yeah, a bit lighter towards the edge. You can always go back in and intensify the bits you want a little bit darker, like I'm just doing, or you can even use a slightly darker, maybe the one we used for the actually I think I'm going to use the Jet Set, which is like the sort of black. Whoops. Just to do a little bit extra on these edges, just to define the shape of those clouds a bit. Just where they meet each other, not where they meet the edge of the book. There we go. Okay. Now we've got this planet here, and I'm thinking, what should we do with the planet? I was thinking we could go really bright, we could go with oranges, but I'm thinking my background colour, I've already decided what it's going to be. It's not going to go with orange, so I'm thinking maybe if I do it, some lovely lilacs, purples, that sort of thing. So I'm going to grab the Orchid Mist first. And I couldn't decide whether to do it sort of stripy or each section a different colour. I think I'm going to do it stripy. So this section, I'm trying to fade it towards the middle a little bit because I want it to be darker around the edge. And then this section again, so I'm going to put more colour there and less towards the middle, more colour here and less towards the middle, like that. There we go. Sorry, I shouldn't blow it, should I? And then I'm going to go for a significantly darker violety shade. This is the Grape Kiss. This is a gorgeous colour, I think. And you can see it's more of a pinky colour too, so it looks different, but I'm going to still try and intensify it on those edges. I need to sharpen it. Everything is going to need sharpening. And around the edge here. And a little bit less towards the middle. I'm not sure whether we're really getting that. I missed a bit. Let's go back to our Orchid Mist and see, I went light here, but it's a bit too light. This isn't dark enough. No, not bad. I'm going to leave it there. Now we have moon and stars. Now my background here is going to be pink. So I want to do actually a really pale blue moon rather than silver. So this is Field Blue. I think I'm going to just test it on a bit of paper. Yeah, I want to make sure it's not greeny. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to keep it quite light. Because obviously moons aren't really blue. I could see the moon this morning when I was out for my walk. Gorgeous. It was a fantastic walk. Right, I'm thinking stars. I'm wondering, yes, let's do this. Let's just do, it's pansy I'm going to use. It's purple. Why not? Why ever not? So purple stars. If you want to do silver like the ones on the outside and keep it consistent through the whole page, then I could quite understand you wanting to do that, and that's absolutely fine. But I am going to mix it up a bit. No, you see, stars don't have to be, oops, going out the lines, doesn't matter. I'm going to put a gel pen over it in a minute. Now those dots I quite like to be pink. Now I'm using quite a pale pink for my background, so I know that I can use this really deep colour. This is Wild Aster. Right, there we go. And it should still show up. If it doesn't, I can always go over it after. Now these little black dots are going to be lost, but I'm okay with that. Right, the only thing we have left are the windows. I think I'm going to use this Belgian block again and just try and put a tiny layer. I know I've gone over that one a bit. There we go, so a little bit of grey as if there's some glass. Now pink. This is Gellyroll number 720. It is the Sakura brand. It is the Stardust, so the glitter pens. Now you don't have to do it this way. Now I do sometimes find that when you use glitter next to metallic pencil, it sort of shows up the fact that the metallic pencil isn't as shiny as you might expect, but I think it's fine. Oh, the black shows through. Oh, that's good. So we can still, it depends on the angle you look at it. I'm not sure. Let me look. Yeah, you may not see it because of the light, but yeah. The black dots do show through a little bit because this gel is quite pale. Now I'm going to be quite contrived with this and choose which colour background I'm going to do for each one, so that I'm careful in what colours I'm using for the rest of it, so that it works, you know, and each background will be a different colour, as I showed you already. I think it will just make it very bright, very sparkly, and yeah, I'm having lots of fun. So yes, it's a beautiful autumn, sunny autumn morning, and I went for a walk. I took lots of photos and video with my new smartphone. Thought I was being very clever, and the quality is awful. The photos are okay, but the video is terrible. It's so pixelated. If you put it on a big screen, it's awful. So I was taking video of the river and things like that. It was really pretty, but anyway, I am going to have to do that on this camera that I'm filming on now if I want a decent video. But I get really frightened of taking this camera anywhere with me, because if I drop it and break it, that means I can't make any videos for you. So I tend not to take it out of the house, you know. I just carry it into this little office here for filming, and then back to my desk for editing, and that's as far as it travels. So yeah, I'm not too sure. Imagine if I dropped it in the river. I'd never drop, I mean, I didn't drop my phone in the river, did I? I didn't drop my phone, but it's a bit bigger and bulkier. Now it would be good if it had some hooks on it. I think it has. I'm just looking. It seems to have a thing on where I can put a strap on it, so that would be fine. If I could put it on a strap around my neck, I'd be very happy, because then if I dropped it, obviously I'd just end up hurting my neck. It's not that heavy anyway, so that would be brilliant. So if I can check that that is a hole for a strap, which I just spotted, and then find some sort of strap and put it on. I've got some binoculars with straps on that I could probably pinch, and then I could use it. We're looking quite sparkly, which is good. It's always a bit difficult to check. Oh, just hit my head on the tripod. Lucky it's light. It's very thin. It's just a thin aluminium tripod. Yeah, just making sure I hadn't missed any areas. When the light is shining off the glitter, it's not always easy to see if you've missed any. But we're nearly there. Yeah, I will do another page definitely with Ergosoft. I will do some with Tombows. I will do some with Castles. I will try all sorts of brands in this book that I know might work. Now, I noticed that Susan Wimpey Berry has been colouring the really teeny tiny designs in Castle Arts gold pencils. I didn't think they would sharpen to such a fine point, but she's done brilliantly. So obviously you can use slightly bigger. I think Prisma might be a bit of a push, to be honest. I'm just looking round it. I think I need to go to this edge a bit better around here. Now what I think I'm going to do is, when I finish each of these, when I finish all of them, I mean, and I do the stars, which I'm not doing now because I'm going to smudge them, I might go around the edge of each circle in the same silver pen. That's a thought I've had anyway. So there it is, there's our first one. Let's come out and see what it looks like in the context of the background. Oh, you'll see all the mess on my desk. Let's see if I can avoid showing you the mess. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna, oops, that's my remote control. I am going to tidy up. Oh, I've upset my remote control, it doesn't want to work. I was going to take a photo. I dislodged the battery or something. Anyway, yes, I am going to finish there, and tomorrow I'll do the next one, and then when we get to the last one we'll finish the background, we'll do the stars and the circles around each one. I'm thinking a fairly thick circle might look good, and then it might also cover up the fact that my pastel hasn't reached the edge. Maybe, we'll see. And maybe even the zest, it might have dried from the top, and we can see, compare it with this, see if the pastel comes off. I think it will. Anyway, that's me for today. I've waffled on enough. I'm going to make another video and waffle on that one instead. But thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow we use the castles, I think. Maybe we'll alternate. That might be fun. But yeah, that's me for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a super day and happy colouring.